Okay, today we carry on with lesson number 2D. Someone was saying that some problem with the, I'll sit down with you later.
Okay.
So, you seek for what you know. What's the meaning of this? The meaning of this is, you have a thing. For example, you have a small earring. So the earring, very tiny and all. And then you lose it. So you go to search for it. So what are you searching for? You're searching for what you know. You know the ring. So you're searching for what you know. And this is the whole aspect of spiritual life. So what does it mean? You search for what you know. You cannot search for what you don't know. So if you don't have a earring, you'd never search for it because you didn't have it in the first place. You only searched for something that you had, you treasured, and then you forgot about it or you lost it. So sometimes it can also happen, you love something and all, and because of the busyness and all, this thing is kept aside, then you forget about it. And after years you go and say, oh my gosh, this was what I loved. So you always seek for what you know. So if you are here searching for God, it is because you already knew Him. If you did not know Him, you would never search for Him. So get that concretely. I am searching for God because somewhere I had Him and somewhere I lost Him. So the whole thing is, that's what Jesus said, seek and you will find. Seek for what? Seek for that which you have lost. And we have never understood the meaning of seek and you will find. So we are searching for that which we have not lost. So coming back to our senses is, when we are searching for something, when we are asking for something, when we are knocking at something, we are knocking at something that we already know. You don't go to a stranger's house and knock at the door. You go to someone whom you know and knock at your door, expecting a familiar face over there. So Jesus is saying, knock at the door and you will find that which you have lost. Seek and you will find that which you have lost. And what you have lost is what you already had, but it has gone out of your memory. So spirituality is all about remembering. It's a beautiful thing to know that God was always with us. He is still with us and He will never leave us, but we have forgotten Him. You know, Saint Teresa of the Child Jesus, she was a young girl and she's called a doctor of the church. Saint Teresa, she's called Teresa of the Child Jesus. She loved the infant Jesus, and she died of tuberculosis at a very young age. And she wrote in her books that she used to feel now and then the absence of God. And then somebody used to say, how do you live? You know God, you talk to Him and this and that. And I say, I'm not worried because I'm a doll, I'm a baby, I'm a stuffed toy in the hands of God. When He's too busy, He throws me under the bed and goes to play. And then He comes back and He finds me again. I'm always there. That was the childish way in which she knew God in her life. So, if you had never experienced God, you would never search for Him. So therefore, one of the prayers can be, and most of the time those who come for my Mass might have seen that I say, before the Mass begins, let us bow our heads and in the beginning of the Mass I say, let us stand before God and, and, and experience His closeness. Sometimes I say experience His kindness. Sometimes experience Him. And what is not a new experience, it is an experience that we had and we forgot. So it is a question of going back to what you already had. It is a question of the prodigal son going back home to the father he always knew. So keep that in mind. If you did not know your father, you would never search for it. If you did not know what it means to live in peace, you would not search for it. If you did not know what is the kingdom of God, you would not search for it. So therefore, you have no need to go for a spirituality course at all. You really don't have need. All you have to do is to, I have forgotten God, and I'm going to awaken my memories to get Him back. I have forgotten the kingdom. I have forgotten peace. I have forgotten. And so, therefore, another way of saying spirituality is of remembering. Spirituality, therefore, is removing the blocks to remembering. So, spirituality, therefore, doesn't become something positive. It becomes removing all the negatives so that the positive will, which is already there, will jump up and say, here I am. So, we are going to this whole process of that. This remembering, therefore, sometimes is given to us. It's like this. So, suppose you had a happy childhood, and then as you grew, you got married, you became a teenager, then you became a teenage mother or father, then you had a breakup in relationships, and the whole thing went downwards. And as you're going downwards, there is peace is gone, stress begins, drugs may come in, depression sets in, the family people look at you differently, your friends, the whole innocence and the fun that you had is gone, and when you remember that, you weep. I was so good once upon, what fun I had in life. Those days will never come. Those days will never come. So, spirituality is saying, those days are there. They are waiting for you to remove these obstacles and come back. And therefore, as we go into this mess that we have made of our own selves, to get away from the innocence, and got locked into the futility of the world and what it gives. It is therefore, once you understand that this is who I am, and I can get this back again, and I can remember God again, I can go back. Yeah, how can I help you? Just come and don't feel bad. Yeah.
Oh, is this a Bible study?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that, but I didn't know it was. Oh, hi. Nothing.
Come, you want to sit down? Sit down.
In a couple minutes.
So, it's a question of this remembering, and to remember this, we have to, uh, we have to, we have to go back very, very strongly to this and be ready to listen to this, where Jesus says, unless you give up all that you have and come follow me. And what do we have to give up? All this nonsense. All this nonsense. There's nothing great that we are giving up. Nothing great. We are, so now comes the whole thing. As you begin, this is beautiful, it happened in my life. This is beautiful. As you begin to remember this, this is beautiful. As you begin to remember this, and remember that you came from God, and that you and God are one, and you remember that, this thing automatically fades away in the distance. Automatically. You don't have to say, I'm going to forget this. This is like, like a mop comes and goes. Automatically the dirt is gone, it's finished, and the whole floor is clean. You're back to your innocence, and then you begin to say to yourself, once you come to this, and this becomes stronger and stronger in your life, opens and opens and becomes so strong that you'll be able to say to yourself, you'll be able to say, I don't remember when I was sad. I don't remember when I was depressed. I don't remember. Just as you did not remember this, now you forget this. So it's a exercise of changing your remembrance and the forgetting pattern. You who forgot this, now use the same power of forgetting to forget this. And you will forget this only by focusing on that. This is where I want to go. This is where I want to go. So, and then you move ahead. So, look therefore at the longing that is growing within you since you started this course. The longing that is growing within you long before you started this course. This course is finally the flower of what you were longing for. Look to that with which you are longing and say, this is my destination. And if you go towards your destination, I can guarantee you this will take care of itself. It will move in certain directions. You may find it painful in the beginning. You may find it because your ego will be hit over and over again. Your mind that is practical will be hit over and over again. But the pieces are being put together, and that is where you will suffer from what I say is entropy. Entropy is a word that says that before anything new comes into the world, there has to be chaos and brokenness. I have to, if I want to remodel this whole thing, I have to take this and throw it out, and take this and throw it out, and take this and throw it out, then I remodel it. So, but we cannot, and that is entropy. Sometimes our life enters into a period of entropy, and we have to have the trust to tell ourselves, something has been being renewed in my life. I'm going to watch it patiently. Something is being renewed in my life. Again, that is called to trust and to hope in the Creator who created you, that He is making the road for you. So something has to be destroyed, and something has to be, like just when you go for surgery, something has to be cut and something has to be stitched back in order that you become healthy again. It happens like that in our lives. So when you get this longing and when you know for this destination, go for the ride. It may be a roller coaster ride, it may be a smooth ride, it may be anything, but say, this is my destination and whatever comes, I'm going in this direction. And for us, therefore, Christians and followers of Christ and the church and all this sacraments, the Trinity will support you every step of the way. There's no two ways about it. No two ways, because you were created, what did St. Augustine say? My heart was made for you, O God, and it will not rest till it rests in you. So our hearts, if they are restless, is because it is not resting in God. That's a beautiful thing, I say it very often. Our hearts were made for you, O God, and it will not rest till it rests in you. Okay, go ahead. Don't be upset that that longing and loneliness is with you. It is the energy that is forcing you back to the kingdom. Very often we have pity on some people. Long time ago, or a short time ago, I don't have pity on people anymore. But I have a dimension of looking at that person and saying, this is the journey this person is. If that person asks for help, then I'm chosen by God to help. If the person doesn't ask for help, I move out of the way. Another aspect in spiritual life, don't help anybody in your whole life. Don't teach your children to help anyone. But the moment they ask for help, jump and help them 25 times. So, but when you go to help them, you're trying to fix something. You're trying to please your ego. I'm a good person, I help everyone. You're nuts, you don't help anyone. Okay, I help. How many people have you helped? 2. I have helped 20. It goes on like that. So it is not that at all. When you asked for help, give all the help you can. When you're not asked for help, watch the people going on their journey and say that is their journey. If they needed help, they would have asked. They don't want, so I respect and I give them dignity to walk the way they want to walk. So many of us, parents and grandparents and brothers and sisters, we get into this mess of having pity on someone. And they don't want it, they don't want it, they don't want it. And so relationships get broken, everything. I know one relative of mine, the parent wanted the best for the child, but the child didn't want anything. So the child ran away and has not come back for the last 15 years. Nobody knows where the child is gone. And all the parents are saying, what did we do wrong? You were trying to help someone and he didn't want your help. He wanted to walk the journey alone. And then when he come, what did the father of the prodigal son do? Did he tell him, don't go? Did he tell him you're going to starve? Did he tell him you're making a mistake? Did he tell him? Did he go to help him? Did he go with a helicopter, with a drone to see where is my son going? I hope he doesn't fall into a ditch. I hope. No. He let him go and he waited at the doorstep for a couple of years till he came back. And when he came back, he embraced him. This is a classical story for our whole life. We can use it in every aspect. The prodigal son is a classical story. Every step is a story of every human being. We all of us have been prodigal daughters and sons of God. And thank God we have been that. And thank God that's the meaning of remembering. So what did he do? When he was eating with the pigs, he remembered how he was treated in his father, saying, my father's house, even the servants eat better food than I'm eating here. I want to go back. And once he went back, he never changed his. He went back and he had prepared his monologue. The father said, I don't want to listen to it. Let's embrace him, give him new shoes, socks, take off his everything and give him new clothes, give him a bath, give him a shower and everything. Forget about it, we are going to have a party. So that's what we have to do. And that's what we have to be able to see people who are eating with the pigs and let them be there. Let them be there. At their time and in their place, if it is a will and if it is their will, they will return. And on their way back, if they come and say, I'm thirsty, can you give me some water? Yes, I'm thirsty. Can you take me to my father's house? I'm afraid. Yes, I will take you. Can you do this? Can you do that? Then we help. But we don't help, please. So, this is a very fantastic lesson, because in the parable it would have said, and because the boy went to the pigs, many people came to help him to take him back to God. Nobody came. So there is this longing that we are talking about. This longing to go back to peace, to go back to the kingdom of God, to go back to our Heavenly Father. There is this longing. And all of us have this longing, but we do not know, we really do not know what this longing is for. If we only knew what this longing is for, then, because what happens, we long, so we long, and the time goes, we want a new car. We long, actually we are longing for God. But then we are, now, I want a girlfriend. I want new house. I wish, I need. So these now become that replace our search for God. So ask yourself, what are the idols that you have in your life with which you replace the longing, the real longing, the deep longing, what is it called? The authentic longing is only for God. Our hearts are restless, they are rest in God. But we are trying to satisfy that longing mistakenly by longing for these things. Right from the age of 5 till the age of 120, we will keep on longing for these things. And then we will say, no, I worship the true God. We go to church and we say, I believe in God the Almighty. Suppose you say, I believe in the idols that I am after. And ask yourself, what are the idols that I have? What are the idols that I am clinging to? What are the idols I believe I cannot live without? So if they are there, then listen what Jesus says. If you want to follow me, that means you want to come to God, give up everything and I will take you there. Till that time, you be with your idols. Can you believe that all of us here, including me, are in some way or the other idol worshippers? And we'll think, oh my gosh, I'm not worshipping idol. No, those days are gone. Deep inside, we do not put a difference between God and idolatry. Spirituality is saying, I will no longer be an idol worshipper. I will be only the Son of God. End of story. Okay. Go ahead. So, we are talking about, keep in mind, therefore, that all your pains, all your sufferings, all your failures are but roads to the kingdom of God. sufferings, all your pains, all your failures are but a role. Because after some time, you yourself will have noticed that these idols fail to satisfy you. Or if you are at a certain period of your life, these idols give you less and less pleasure, less and less happiness than they used to do once upon a time. And maybe you will reach a time when you'll say, I used to love music. I was talking to Rosalie before. I said, I got a new TV and we were all looking at the TV. And so she said, yeah. I said, yeah. And she asked me, I think, do you watch many movies? So I said, once upon a time I did. And I love movies, and suddenly it was out. I did not deliberately say, I'm giving up movies for Lent or any of that thing. It just dropped. So I don't have anything for movies. It's out. Many other things, as you go for this kingdom of God, all these things that I suggest, these idols, they feel uncomfortable and they go away one by one, leaving you happy to go on the stroll for God. So all our things are only love guiding us. All our pains, all our suffering, all our this, all our that. Why do we get pain? We get pain, at least when I find in my life that I'm not listening or I'm not attentive to what the universe or God wants me to do, then I'm given a solid blow in the mouth. Solid shot I'm given. I get sick, or I get some kind of brokenness, or I get something. Then I said, I'm so sorry. Instead of saying, why did this happen to me, it's just the opposite. I'm so sorry, I didn't listen to you. So you had to punch me in the face and break my bones. Okay, I'm sorry. So that's also love saying, you made me break your bones. It's like a mom or dad correcting a loving child. The child is going wrong and child is going wrong. So you have to punish the child, not because you hate the child, but because you love the child. So God sometimes does it for us, not because He hates us, not because He wants to fix us, because He wants us to come back to Him. So it's a two-way project. Be genuinely grateful to all your failures and rejoice that you have arrived. Your feeling of gratitude will replace all your feelings of shame, failure and unworthiness. Love will begin to cast its light on you. Christ has thrown you the thread through the eye of the needle and waits to draw you into the life-giving waters. So, you cannot enter the kingdom. Like a camel can enter to the eye of a needle, but you cannot enter it. So, to enter that, therefore, only Christ can help us. So what does He do? He puts the thread through the eye of a needle and you catch it and then you go inside. So, any questions so far? By the way, tomorrow we are having a special movie. It's a very nice movie. It's not an acting movie. It's a documentary made by special people who have gone around the world searching for the happiest people in the world. And they have found 4 or 5, and they have taken real living people. They are not actors. In case you are interested in coming, we are showing it for course 2 tomorrow. You can come at the same time and same place and the same face. So it is called, the name of the movie is Happy. Okay. So, now we go to, you are innocent creators. now we take this life of the prodigal son. So here you have the son, here you have the father. Both of them living happily, having good food, sunshine, air, water, swimming pool and all that. Now what did the son do? He started creating. He started creating his life. Every step was not, the father did not create life for him. The moment he left the kingdom, he started creating his life. He started creating his life till he went into the with the pigs. So he created, the son created this whole thing. This whole thing. Can you come to comprehend that the life that you are leading right now is your creation? That's another huge spiritual foundation. The life that I'm leading is my creation and I take responsibility for it. Once you do that, your mother is off the hook, your father is off the hook, your neighbors are off the hook, your teacher is off the hook, the Catholic Church is off the hook, the Trump is off the hook, everybody is off the hook. Everybody is off the hook because who has created that? Everybody. So you take responsibility for your creation. Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to say, I still cannot get my head around it, but I'm going to start believing that everything is my creation. Everything. You are sitting in that chair because you created the need and everything to come. All of you are sitting there because you created what you wanted. I am here because I created what I wanted. Nobody did this to me. Nobody did this to you. Nobody. You are here because you created a need, you had a desire, you had an intention, and you gave into that, and these things just came and said, here am I. You asked me to be here, I'm here. Now sit down and listen to the class. So, you are all innocent creators. I want you to understand this. You are all innocent creators. So, what's the meaning of that? If a husband and wife and two children, they go to the beach, they take their little ones, say 7 and 4, or 7 and 5, they go to the beach. And the mom and dad are there with the thing on the ground, carpet on the ground, and their two are there with their spade and all, making sand castles and seeing the water, and now and then you are helping them, and then you go to talk to your wife, and they are happy there. And then you say, oh, the sun is going down, let us go home. And these two guys who had paid so much attention, they had built a castle with so much of care, with so much of love, with so much of thought. They had built it. Innocent. And this is what the innocent do. When the time came to leave and go home, they kicked it and they said, let's go home, mommy. All that they labored the whole day to do, they just kicked it out. And this is what is, imagine that this world for you is a beach on which you are building sand castles. And innocently you are making your castles. Some castles, we call them, they are wicked people, wicked. Some castles are bad, some castles are evil. No, they are all innocent. There is no bad castle. The child is building that castle, and you have built your castle, And that is why detach yourself from the castle when you want to go home. You cannot go home if you don't finish, destroy this castle or don't care about it or let it be there. You don't care. You're now focused on something else. Who cares for that? You won't even look back once. This is what the spirituality course is all about. It's just a state of pure innocence. And to remembering what I said in the beginning of the class, is a remembrance of your innocence. Something that I'm very strong about, or I repeat over and over again, is innocence. And can you believe, or can you accept deep in your heart that God is perfectly innocent? God is perfectly innocent. And you can accept that. So innocence has created you like itself. So embrace your innocence. Love your innocence. And that's what Jesus says. Unless you become innocent, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Which means unless you become a little child, you cannot. So unless you become innocent once again, to be innocent means to believe firmly, I have been created by innocence. And there is nothing, since the time I was created, trillions of years ago, nothing evil in me. There never was, there never is, and there never will be anything evil in me. This is pure clarity, pure vision, that there is no, if I have been created by infinite innocence, how can anything else be in me? How can anything else? If I believe that I am not innocent, then that is an illusion. If I believe that I am not innocent, then that is false. If I believe that I am not innocent, that means I am not like my Father. Now, besides that word which I says, if I believe, if I don't believe, if I don't believe, I want to change that word now to be able to say, I don't believe that I am innocent. I know. I know. That is a fantastic reality, because that's the reality. You believe in something which you do not know. But now, therefore, another type of prayer that you can say, oh Lord, help me to touch my innocence again. And I have found this again in my spiritual journey. I have found the best way to be innocent is found in the life of Christ. 3 times it is given in the Gospels that somebody asked him a question and he took a child, as if a child was roaming around the streets there. He took the child, embraced him, and he said, unless you become like this little child. Somebody else asked him and he says, unless you become like a little child. So Jesus physically touched the child. And if you, I think for you it is not a big game, but since I'm celibate, for me it was a different story altogether. When I began my spiritual search, I began then to look into the eyes of infant babies and to look at it. If I get a chance, because their mothers are saying, what this man is doing. Whenever I get a chance, even from far, to look at a child and to see the soul of innocence there, and grab the soul and put it before me. Grab the soul, put it there, grab the soul. And so you become more and more innocent like that, like the child. You begin to see, you really begin to see, because, and I think it's a month back, one mother was taking her child in the push cart. What is that?
Stroller.
Huh?
Strollers.
Yeah, stroller. So in India we call it pram. So I don't know why. So we're taking it in the stroller. So, and it's her standing there, and I looked at the child, and I went down, and I told her, this child smells of, don't tell me what, father. I said, no, it smells of heaven. She thought it smells of diaper or something. This child smells of heaven. Oh, then she smiled very nicely. So that's the way of taking innocence from somebody else and making it your own. And Jesus did that, and that is why he is called the Lamb, the innocent Lamb. Innocent Lamb. Innocence is the most powerful thing we can ever have, because the innocent one is never afraid of dying. The baby is not afraid of dying. The mom can keep it in the arms and drop it down and finished. And now the innocent are not afraid of dying. They are giving the trimester abortion, so they are not grumbling at all. Okay, you want to kill us, you can kill us. We are not afraid of dying. The innocents are not afraid of dying. So because death does not matter to them at all. They are innocent this side of death, and they are innocent that side of death. It remains. So you are innocent creators. So all that you are creating is innocence and with innocence. So innocence does not mean that you are going to become a baby again. So it is not becoming childish. Innocence is different from becoming childish. Innocence is strong. Innocence is perfect. Innocence has nothing to condemn. Innocence has nothing to forgive. The innocent one has nothing to forgive. And even if you tomorrow you must see that one of the guys, he's so poor. He's so poor, and he's one of in Calcutta we have this rickshaws. I was in Calcutta there long ago. So in Calcutta they have these rickshaws that are pulled by men. So in the Philippines also they have.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, in some areas of India, I don't know now, but 15-20 years ago we had those rickshaws that were pulled by men. And so sometimes a fat man or with his wife, they sit down in that. And this man, and they want to go 5 miles, and this man
Yeah.
pulling them, and he has to keep these handles down because they are so heavy, they are putting it down that way. And then they abuse him and they curse him, and they don't pay him, they don't pay him adequately, nothing. And this poor man is thin, starving, and pulling this cart, and he's so happy. So one of the statements he makes when you come to tomorrow's movie, he says, I love to be with my son. And he takes the baby and he kisses him. My son gives me great happiness. He's happy with his son, he's happy with his wife, and he's got a house made of plastic, which you see in third world country. He says, and I have a wall this side, I have a wall this side, but there's a big hole from where the rain comes. But only one wall, the other walls are okay. And he laughs. Imagine, here if we have some roof with a small stain, we get crazy. So happy is that. To to be innocent, we have to remove some of the blockages that we have. You have to rid your mind of all concepts. Rid your mind of all concepts. How are you going to do that? Because the mind is perpetually active. There's perpetually thoughts going like crazy, like mad dogs. They're chasing each other's tail and then coming around again and chasing each other's tail and coming around again till you get so tired. First of all, I think I told you this. First of all, don't identify yourself with the thoughts. So if the thought is bad, don't say, I had a bad thought. Don't say that. Say, a thought went through me. It was not good. So you're disidentifying yourself from the thought, which is true, because you did not sit down and say, you know what, now I'm going to sit and think something bad. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Now I'm going to stand and I'm going to think two bad things today. You don't do that. So the thoughts come, and if they come, therefore, I'm not a thought. But most of our lives, if we have a bad thought, some people come for confession and everything, and they say, Father, I have a lot of bad thoughts. So then I tell them, so what? It's not that. Then I take them to the window. And I said, can you see that clouds are there? In my confessional, there is a small window. Sometimes I look out and there's always clouds. I said, can you see the clouds there? Yeah, I said. And behind the clouds, what is there? The sky. I said, are the sky and the clouds the same? No. The sky goes on forever. The cloud just goes. They come and they go. I said, so why are you saying that you're the thoughts? Will you not get mad if the sky says I'm the clouds? The sky is different. The clouds are passing through the sky, and the sky is saying, good, welcome, bye. Good, bad, ugly, I don't care. You're passing through my kingdom. You're welcome to pass through my kingdom, but my kingdom is not going to be destroyed by what you do. You're out. So innocence is getting rid of concepts, of not identifying yourself with your thoughts. This will be difficult. So I'll give you two ways of doing it. First of all, this is the first way. It's a very, very important way. Don't identify yourself with the thoughts. Look at the thoughts, smile at it like a good friend and say, you're going? Yeah, because another one is waiting to come in. You better go. And another one comes. Then you say, okay, welcome. Now how long are you going to stay with me? Okay. You want to stay? You can stay. You want to go? You can go. Because another one is waiting. And so that one goes, another one comes. And that one goes, another one comes. So that's one way to identify. The second way is to sit down, or you can drive the car, or you can be cooking, or you can be doing anything, and tell yourself, for the next half an hour, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm going to be aware of all the thoughts that are passing. And this is the most fruitful exercise. I'm going to be aware of all the thoughts that are passing through my mind. So, how do you do that? This is what will happen. So, I tell a story as I told in the last classes. So, the story goes like this. So, there is a man who was in a coma. And because he was in a coma, they put him in a room and everybody forgot about him. So there he's lying on a table, he's got a pillow, and under his pillow there is a flashlight, that's all, and he's in a coma. And for some time, then slowly his senses come to be more and more alert. And as they come to be more and more alert, now he begins to be aware that there are mice running across. Some are jumping on his knees, some are running across his face, some are doing this, and he's talking to himself, my gosh, this is... So when he was unaware and in a coma, he had no clue that the mice were running crazy all over the room. He had no clue. But now he's getting an idea. There are mice in this room, and I can't move anything, but I can't stand this mice. So he's becoming awake. Can you see what Jesus told us? Be awake. So he's becoming awake. And then he stretches his hand, trying to get rid of this mice that are used to this body lying there. He hits the pillow at the back and gets the flashlight. And looks at the flashlight and is very happy. So now, every time he hears some sound, he puts the flashlight there. The mouse gets awakened or gets hypnotized or lies in the eyes and runs to its hole. And another sound there, that runs to his hole, that runs to his hole. So, and as he's doing that, he becomes more and more alert and awake, and this becomes a glorious pastime to drive away the rats, till finally there's not a single rat there, and all the mice that were coming into the room have gone into the holes and gone to somebody else's house because this guy is putting the flashlight on them the whole time. Can you put the flashlight on your thoughts? They are the mice that have invaded your life, running up and down, taking charge of you, and now your awareness is like a torch. Every time you get a thought, just be aware. Put the flashlight on the thought will go. Another thought coming, put a flashlight on that thought. Put a flashlight on that thought. It might be boring, it might be this, but once you get into a period of silence or semi-silence, you will begin to appreciate this exercise. Because you don't have to sit down in a certain pose, you don't have to do yoga, foga, nothing, you don't have to do tai chi, bai chi, nothing. You just have to get into this of being aware of the thoughts that are passing you and returning back to your innocence. Any question on that? So I give you three ways of how to tackle, rid your mind of all concepts, of all thoughts. So, what you're going to do, therefore, is to be aware. The flashlight that you have is your sense of awareness. I'm aware, I'm not asleep. So what is spirituality? Spirituality is the first lesson I told you, that we are asleep, and if you are asleep, we are dreaming. So when you want to wake up from your sleep, now you become more and more aware, and as you exercise your awareness, your sleep will go. So that man who was in a coma was exercising his awareness by putting on that till he sat down and he said, let me see any more mice. And he didn't even realize that he was sitting down. His coma had gone. Same with you. So you are in a spiritual coma, you are in a spiritual ICU, and you have the flashlight, you have your consciousness that is telling you, put the flashlight of awareness on all the things that are passing through your mind. Don't let it go. Awareness. What is awareness? Awareness is just being present at the moment, just being present. And this will continue even to course 2. The whole thing of presence is a totally different ball game. And if you are more and more present, you will feel that this the presence that you are here brings about peace. The more aware quiet that you are, the more present that you are, the more that you don't become a victim of all these things that are going around, the more you become a person laying the foundation of peace. And peace will guide you. And peace will guide you back to the Father. Peace will guide you back to your innocence. Peace will guide you. Anything you do, if there is no peace in that, drop it off. Everything you do, if it has got peace attached to it, then even if you are crucified on the cross, it doesn't matter. Jesus went to the cross peacefully, because that was the will of the Father. We have to learn that. Because God gives us all kinds of things, the universe gives us all kinds of things, but it never takes away our capacity to be peaceful and happy, unless we have thrown it off. Okay, with that the class is over. See
Thank
you.
you, Father.
And tomorrow if you want, you can come
Right in
for
this
the-
room?
Yeah, this room, that's why I put a new TV here.
Thank you.